So one of the things that you've been very vocal about is that you didn't do enough to stop sexual violence, or once you heard about some incidents, you didn't do anything. Why was that?
Well, we called a meeting of a whole heap of people to let them know, but the meeting, they said, Kelvin, have you given any thought to what may fall out of the woodwork and whether we're resourced to deal with it? And I hadn't given any thought. I said, look, let's stop this meeting. We'll come back in a few weeks. You know, I never got back to calling that meeting. All those incidences had been dealt with by SIFs or police, I have to say. You know, I think back now, what fell out of the woodwork was James Parker, although James Parker isn't the risk, because we know about him. The people who are the risk are the uncles and the brothers and the cousins and the aunties in the family who are causing harm inside their families.
So what was that bit, though, that made you think, oh, I don't need to act here? And I don't ask you to criticise, because I think it's actually an important thing to tease out, because I think so many people probably do that. Yeah,
well, they had been dealt with, those incidences, back then by the police and SIFs. So
you thought that's enough, I don't need to...
Well, you know, you just never, as a school principal, you just get carried away with other parts of the job. But the reality is everybody now knows, because we're saying it here on TV, everyone knows that in every community, every ethnicity, sexual violence is happening. So what's everyone else going to do about it now? Don't just wait. I'm not the spokesperson for sexual violence. Everybody is a spokesperson for sexual violence.
Did you find any programs or gaps or funding that was needed during this hikoi that you were able to identify and say, we need this?
There's not enough being done around education. There are some things, but not enough, and there's not enough resourcing to help people, the survivors of sexual violence.
That's often a catch-call, isn't it? We need more education. But is that what is actually needed, or is that just a bit too easy to say?
Well, who else before we just mentioned it now knows to close the bathroom door when you're showering, or make sure you're not walking around the house with a towel on and, you know, titillating a young person. You know, we need to talk about these things, and that's what I mean by education.
OK. We do have to wrap. I want to just ask you, just changing tack very briefly. We talked about Kohanga Reo last week. What do you think is going to come of that stalemate between Hiki Aparata and the Kohanga Reo?
Well, I think the cupboard needs to be swept clean, but what is most disappointing about the whole Kohanga Reo saga, that this is about the reputations of adults, and it's not about the education and the learning of acquisition of te reo by our tamariki. And I know that Kohanga Reo on the ground are suffering, while these adults in Wellington, these people who are meant to be governing Kohanga Reo, are having these fights, and it's about them and not about who it should be. It should be about the kids. OK, we have to leave it there. Thank you so much. We're going to keep an eye on that story, and we're going to keep an eye on, too, on what you're doing, because it's so very important. I want to mihi to you for that. Sure. Kelvin Davis.